Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrasham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankara Vavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev.
Hari Om, Jai Gurudev. Brahmaraji, 15th onwards only I chant, right?
Yeah, better, no? We'll start from 15.
Okay. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Jnanayagnen chapyanye yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pruthatvena bahudha vishvato mukham aham kraturaham yajnah swadaham aham aushadam mantroham ahamevajam aham agniraham hutam Pitahamasya jagatah matadha.
Sorry, 1 second. The previous verse, we don't need to split it up as aham aham. You just read it, chant it as a continuity.
Okay.
Pitahamasya, is that the starting or?
Aham kraturaham.
Aham, yeah. Aham kraturaham yajnam swadaham aushadam mantroham vajam aham agniraham hutam. So there is that continuity of that thing. It is, we don't split it into aham aham aham. Okay, I just thought I will tell.
Yeah, dhanyavad Brahmaraji. Aham kraturaham yajnam swadaham aushadam mantroham vajam aham agniraham hutam Pitahamasya jagatah Mata dhata pitamahah Vedyam pavitram omkarah Ruksamaya jurevacha Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi Nivasa sharanam suhruta Prabhava pralayasthanam Nidhanam bijam avyayam Tapamyahamaham varsham Nigrunamyutsrujami cha Amrutam chaiva mrityuscha Sadasachaham Arjuna Traividya mam somapa puta papa yagnairishtva स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देवभोगान् ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भुक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनाश्च ते न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन्यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्या यान्ति मध्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थ व्यपाश्रित्य येऽपि स्युः पापयोनयः स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा क्षुद्राः तेऽपि ज्ञान्ति परां गतिम् स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्राः तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्या भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मध्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मध्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोग नाम श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया तत्सत् So we just saw this 27th verse. We will just quickly browse through. यत्करोषि यदश्नसि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् यत्करोषि, whatever you do, यत् ashnasi, whatever you eat, yet juhoshi, whatever ritual you perform, yet dadasi, whatever you give, yet tapasyasi, whatever religious discipline you follow, Kaunteya, Arjuna, tat kurushva, please do it, Madarpanam, as an offering to me. Please let me know if there is a breaking of voice. Someone can take over. There is a notification. Yat karoshi yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi yat dadasi, yat tapasyasi, kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever ritual you perform, whatever religious discipline you follow, Arjuna, please do it as an offering to me. Various actions that you do, whether they are secular or scripturally enjoined, either by the Vedas or by Smriti, please do all of them as an offering to me. Kurushva Madarpanam. Why is this said here? Generally, even though people perform these rituals, prayers, etc., they do them for their own yoga and kshema. The same ritual can be a kamya karma or a nishkama karma. Nishkama karma does not mean you do not expect a result. Nobody can perform an action without expecting a result. It means you expect no result except antakarana shuddhi. You may do anything, but if it is no longer a kamya karma, you do it with an entirely different attitude. What you want is antakarana shuddhi. What exactly is the purification? Not to be in the hands of likes and dislikes, the two words that really cover all other psychological problems. If you analyze any problem you have, you find it comes under raga dveshas. Things did not happen as I wanted, therefore I have problem. Things do not happen as I want, therefore I have a problem. I do not see that things will not happen as I want, therefore I have a problem. All problems, normal or abnormal, can be brought under raga dveshas. Connection of prayer and mental purification. This antahkarana shuddhi is very important, and to achieve it, prayer is inevitable. Why? Because only a prayerful mind can accept all this. Only on seeing my helplessness can I forgive myself. Only understanding myself very clearly as a limited person can I totally accept that I could only do as much as I did. I could not have done anything better. Perhaps in the order of things, this is how it should have been. With that kind of recognition, that prayerful attitude, there is serenity. When the mind is settled like this, it can inquire properly. Here, Bhagwan is talking about a person who is interested in moksha. He does karma for antakarana shuddhi. He may do the same action as a kama kami, but he does not want this and that. He wants only one thing, moksha, which is non-separate from himself. As a karma yogi, he has renounced the results of his actions, karma phala tyaga. He plays roles and performs karma, etc. But he does not work for dharma, artha, and kama, but works only for antakarana shuddhi. Or he can be a sannyasi who gives up the karmas, duties, so that he has no role to play. Both the karma yogi and the sannyasi have a recognition of Ishvara, and that is called bhakti. Tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, please offer it to me. It means, may you not expect a result of yoga or kshema. Just do it and let it go to the Lord. It is an expression of your devotion to Ishvara. All you want is antakarana shuddhi. The very offering of such a prayer brings about inner purification. Therefore, whatever you do, please offer it to me for the sake of antakarana shuddhi leading to moksha. Bhagavan is not going to be elevated by your offering, but you are enriched in the process. Yet karoshi, whatever you do, Bhagavan addresses Arjuna directly here. Whatever you do is made into an offering, and the result of that karma is taken as prasada. Yadashnasi, whatever you eat. That is why, while eating, we offer the food saying, Pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, Vyanaya swaha, Udanaya swaha, Samanaya swaha, and then finally saying Brahmane swaha. It means this: unto the Lord who is in the form of prana, the respiratory function, apana, the system that throws things out of the body, samana, the digestive system, vyana, the whole circulatory system, udana, the prana that ejects the life out of the body at the time of death. I offer this food, Brahmane Swaha, to the one who indwells every physical body identified with the total subtle body, Hiranyagarbha. I offer this food. Yet Juhoshi, whatever fire ritual you perform, whether it is Shrauta Karma or Asmarta Karma, or any ritual that you perform daily or on special occasions, please offer it unto me. Let it not be for dharma, artha, or kama. All that is important is your attitude. Bhagavan is not going to be flattered by what you do or you do not offer. Still, through some association, you make your offering more and more real, which creates in you a certain bhavana, attitude. Vishnu is the one who loves ornamentation. He is Alankara Priya. Lord Shiva loves a bath. He is Abhishek Priya. Lord Surya loves salutations. He is Namaskara Priya. So you do all this for your own sake, really, to make your devotion more real. It is only your attitude that counts. Two pieces of wood in the form of a cross mean nothing. Every telephone pole looks like that, but it stands for something. So there is an attitude, bhavana. So it will work. Nobody will be denied the result of his prayer, whether he is a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, a Parsi, or anybody. These things must be very clear. Any religion is based on bhavana. That is what makes a person a devotee. Yet dadasi, whatever you give as an offering, as charity, gold, food, ghee, clothes, etc. These are the things that we generally give brahmanas, people like priests dedicated to a religious life. In former times, they were working for the society and the society took care of them. So Dana was generally for Brahmanas. Now it can be anything you give in charity. All the charities you do, dedicate them unto Ishvara as a worship. Yat tapasyasi, yat tapasyasi. Any particular religious discipline you undertake. There are varieties of tapas like fasting and japa. In all this, Bhagavan says, whatever you do it as an offering unto me. These are all expressions that we have to understand properly. There is too much breaking of voice. Please do let me know if it is not clear. I am repeating. In all this, Bhagavan says, whatever you do it as an offering unto me. These are all expressions that we have to understand properly. Otherwise, what does perform all actions dedicated to the Lord mean? Which Lord? Where? How? This is the problem. What does it mean to offer everything to Bhagavan? Here, we have to understand that gaining the knowledge of Ishvara and understanding that I am not separate from Ishvara is moksha, freedom. If you want that, you need antakarana shuddhi and you have to work for it. When dharma is Ishvara, even duties are for Ishvara. What is to be done becomes important because it is looked upon as Ishvara and thereby raga dveshas are relegated to the background. Then the special rituals that you perform are meant for no other result than antakarana shuddhi leading to moksha. Wanting moksha means wanting Ishvara because moksha is non-separate from Ishvara. Knowing I am Ishvara, whose nature is fullness and who is the cause of creation, is indeed moksha. Very beautiful line. Knowing I am Ishvara, whose nature is fullness and who is the cause of creation, is indeed moksha. When you are seeking moksha, don't think that you are seeking anything other than Ishvara. When the various rituals, prayers, etc., that you perform are all for the sake of antakarana shuddhi, which is necessary for moksha, they are all for Ishvara. Because the swarupa of moksha is nothing but Ishvara. So, when you perform these prayers and rituals, etc., they are all meant only for Ishvara. Similarly, the other duties which you are called upon to do in day-to-day life are also for Ishvara if they conform to Dharma. Your likes and dislikes, tendencies, etc. may be opposed to what you have to do, but they are overruled when you conform to Dharma because that itself is Ishvara. For the person who is living his life in this manner, like Arjuna, what will happen? शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः संन्यासयोग संन्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि. Evam, in this way, mokshase, you will be released, karma bandhanaihi, from the bondage of karma, shubha ashubha phalaihi, in the form of desirable and undesirable results. Sannyasa yoga yukta atma, being one whose mind is endowed with renunciation and karma yoga. Vimuktaha, released. Mam upaishyasi, you will come to me. Evam mokshase karma bandhanaihi, shubha ashubha phalaihi, sannyasa yoga yukta atma, vimuktaha mam upaishyasi. In this way, you will be released from the bondage of karma, which is in the form of desirable and undesirable results. Being one whose mind is endowed with renunciation and karma yoga, you who have been released will come to me. I repeat, in this way, you will be released from the bondage of karma, which is in the form of desirable and undesirable results. Being one whose mind is endowed with renunciation and karma yoga, you who have been released will come to me. Moksha say, you will be released from what? From the karmas that you give, Shamyatam, from the karmas that give you desirable and undesirable results, Shubha Ashubhaihi Karma Bandhanaihi. These binding karmas have desirable and undesirable results. In other words, Sukha Dukha. Karma produces two types of results: desirable Shubha Phala and undesirable Ashubha Phala. And the karmas themselves are bondage because they produce results for the agent, the karta. He is the one who has to experience the karma phala, which comes in the form of sukha and dukkha. In order to experience them, he must have a body, mind, senses, etc. Therefore, he requires a birth, janma. Because of karma, there is janma. Because of janma, there is karma. From all this, Bhagwan says, you will be released. How? Evam, in this manner, by doing what was described in the previous two verses. Performing all actions as a dedication to Ishvara, as it was explained, you become Sannyasa Yoga Yukta Atma, one whose mind is endowed with yoga and sannyasa. This is moksha. But the person we are discussing is doing karma. And all that he does, he dedicates unto the Lord. As the Lord himself said in the last verse, Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yat tapasyasi. So, what is the sannyasa here? Shankara makes it clear. It is sannyasa and at the same time yoga. It is called sannyasa because he renounces the results of his actions. There is phalatyaga. Everything is done as an offering to Ishvara. Tat kurushva madarpanam. And he is interested only in Ishvara, nothing else. Ishvara is non-separate from moksha. So, if he is interested in moksha, he is purely interested in Ishvara. Since he has karma phala tyaga, it is called sannyasa. Considering the root meaning of the word rather than the popular meaning, which is a lifestyle of renunciation. It is not the renunciation of karma, but an attitudinal renunciation. The context here is the performing of all these rituals, prayers, duties, etc. So beautiful. So, doing all this just for Antakarana Shuddhi. Therefore, we are talking about Karma Yoga. Still, it is called Sannyasa Yoga because there is Karma Phala Tyaga. He gives up his likes and dislikes and does karma only for the sake of Ishvara, not for anything else. This person is committed to Ishvara. So, naturally, there is sannyasa. Why is it yoga? Shankara says, because the word karma is associated with it. And it is karma yoga because the word sannyasa is there. Otherwise, it would be only karma for the sake of artha and kama now. And later, it becomes a karma that binds you. Karma bandhana by producing punya and papa. These karmas, however, do not bind since they create antakarana shuddhi, and through antakarana shuddhi you gain moksha. There is an order there. The same thing was said in the 5th chapter of the Gita. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. One whose mind is purified by being committed to a life of karma yoga, who has mastered the body and has the sense organs under control, and who knows oneself to be the self in all beings. Such a person is not affected even while doing actions. This sequence is a style of the Gita and must be understood. Otherwise, it will read as though Karma Yoga is a means for liberation that will destroy the whole Shastra and create countless problems. Therefore, here we must remember that particular word Yoga Yukta, the one who is endowed with Karma Yoga. What does he become? Vishuddhatma. His antakarana is pure, meaning he is no longer in the hands of raga dveshas. Therefore, he is vijitatma. His mind is in his hands, and so are his sense organs. He is a jitendriya. Such a person becomes sarva bhutatma bhuta atma. In time, he gains this knowledge and his self is no longer enclosed but is released from the limitations superimposed upon the self. He is the self of all. Even if he performs an action, he is not bound by that karma na lipyate. That is what is said here. So please remember here the important words that he performs karma yoga as a sannyasi, and he remember the word he is yoga yukta vishuddhatma because his antakarana has become pure. He is free from the clutches of raga dvesha and therefore he is vijitatma. His mind is in his hand. Therefore, he is Jitendriya.
Bela, can you read that paragraph which says this is the way the Gita is? It has to be
Yeah.
understood properly. That part, please.
Yes.
Can you just read that
Yes.
again?
Yes, yes, sure. Yeah. One whose mind is purified by being committed to a life of karma yoga, who has mastered the body and has the sense organs under control, and who knows oneself to be the self in all beings, such a person is not affected even while doing actions. This sequence is a style of the Gita and must be understood. Otherwise, it will read as though Karma Yoga is a means for liberation that will destroy the whole Shastra and create countless problems. Therefore, here we must remember that particular word Yoga Yukta, the one who is endowed with Karma Yoga. What does he become? Vishuddhatma. His antakarana is pure, meaning he is no longer in the hands of Ragadveshas. Therefore, he is Vijitatma. His mind is in his hands, and so are his sense organs. He is a Jitendriya. Such a person becomes Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhuta Atma. In time, he gains this knowledge and his self is no longer enclosed, but is released from the limitations superimposed upon the self. He is the self of all. Even if he performs an action, he is not bound by that karma. Na lipyate. That is what is said here. So, by doing this, you will get released from karma. May I go ahead? We just have to remember doing karma as a yoga yukta. I think there are so many words in we had learned prashanta mana, yoga rudha. Those all are once the antakarana is purified, the person becomes vishuddhatma, free from the clutches of raga dvesha. So jitendriya, and the one who sees Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhuta Atma. There is only one Atma which is there in the whole creation. So he performs an action with this attitude, with this bhavana, then he is not bound by that karma. So by doing this, you will get released from karma. Look at this. Karma generally binds you. But by doing the same karma with a change of attitude, it becomes the means for liberation. There is again the breaking of voice. So by doing this, you will get released from karma. Look at this. Karma generally binds you. But by doing the same karma with a change of attitude, it becomes the means for liberation. The binding karma becomes non-binding. Because he does everything for the sake of Ishvara, he is a bhakta and also a jignasu, karma yogi, mumukshu.
You want me to read it, Balaji? Which one?
Yeah. Please go ahead because there is continuous notification, so I can understand it Must be very disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
please.
I'll start from because he does everything, right?
It
Okay.
is. Dhanyavada.
Because he does everything for the sake of Ishvara, he is a bhakta and also a jignashu, karma yogi, mumukshu, all these at once. Because he is sannyasa yoga yukta atma, he has all the qualifications for gaining the knowledge. So for him, knowledge becomes easy. So the sannyasa yoga yukta atma, he has all qualifications for gaining the knowledge. So the knowledge becomes for him knowledge becomes easy. So one who is doing it for the sake of Ishvara. Therefore, vim, vimuktaha mam upashyasi. Liberated, you will come to me in time. Because he has said mokshyase, you will get liberated. There is a time involved here. Knowledge does not take time, but removing the obstructions does. Being a karma yogi, you gain antakarna shuddhi. With that mind, you are able to understand the sastra and are therefore vimukta. Living, you are liberated because the mind does not pose any problem in so far as the knowledge of yourself is concerned, which you have gained from the Shastra. It is not inhibited by any problem that would be there for want of Karma Yoga. So again, it is not inhibited by any problem that would be there for want of Karma Yoga. And uninhibited self knowledge is moksha. The teaching is there, pramana is there, and vastu is there. Knowledge should take place, and it has to take place in your mind. If that mind has a problem, we have to take care of it, and that is done by Karma Yoga. So let me read this paragraph one more time. Therefore, Vimuktaha Mam Upasyasi, liberated, you will come to me in time. Because he has said Mokshase, you will get liberated. There is time involved here. Knowledge does not take time, but removing the obstructions does. Being Karma Yogi, you gain Antakarna Shuddhi, and with that mind, you are able to understand the Shastra and are therefore Vimukta. Living, you are liberated because the mind does not pose any problem in so far as the knowledge of yourself is concerned, which you have gained from the Shastra. It is not inhibited by any problem that would be there for want of Karma Yoga. The uninhibited self knowledge is moksha. The teaching is there, pramana. The teaching is there, pramana is there, and vastu is there. Knowledge should take place. And it has to take place in your mind. If that has a problem, we have to take care of it, and that is done by Karma Yoga. Okay, he is going in and around it. Okay. Next.
Yeah, that
paragraph.
sixth chapter, no, the preparedness of mind is so important here.
Right.
Mm.
So the
That will
living,
make us vimukta. We become free from
right.
the.
Yeah, he already said that, but then again, like, the knowledge has to occur because if only if it antakarna shuddhi is there. But
Correct.
then before that, there's a lot of obstructions that you have to remove it. So then once you have that, the knowledge will happen.
Correct.
Living, you are liberated. Then what happens at the time of death? When the body falls at the time of death, you are one with me. What exists is only Ishvara, because the notion of individuality, Jivatva, is eliminated. The Jiva has dissolved into Ishvara, and therefore you are one with Ishvara, which means that you are Ishvara. Even alive, there is only Ishvara. But because of prarabdha karma, the mind body sense complex continues. Therefore, it seems limitations continue. Then the body falls away and the seeming limitations also disappear. There is only Ishvara. Therefore, Lord Krishna says here, Mom Upastyasi, you will come to me. This is addressed to the Jiva who is now listening, not to the Satchit Ananda Atma. Here you fall short of Satchit Ananda Atma. It goes only up to the Jiva, the Jignashu, and not beyond that. You shall come to me means that there will be no you, the individual. You who is Satchitananda Brahma alone is there. That's very nice. Okay, let me read this one more time. Therefore, Lord Krishna says here, Mom Upastyasi, you will come to me. This is addressed to the Jiva who is now listening, not to the Satchit Ananda Atma. Here you fall short of Satchit Ananda Atma. It goes only up to the Jiva, the Jignashu, and not beyond that. You shall come to me means that there will be no you, the individual, you who is Satchit Ananda Brahma alone is there. There is another expression that can be misunderstood. You have been me, but you come back to me again. Hmm. You have been me, but you come back to me again, as though you are a stranger. You come back to me. This is the figurative expression. There is no coming to Bhagavan or going away from Bhagavan. You're always non-separate from Bhagavan. It is just a matter of recognition. Yeah, this we read yesterday. Does Bhagavan also have partiality? But in the previous verse, he says, whatever you do, Arjuna, yat karosi, yat ashnashi, yat jugoshi, offer it all to me. And the one who performs all actions for the sake of Ishvara will get Ishvara, whereas the others will not. Then we have a problem. Bhagavan becomes the one who has raga dveshas like any ordinary person. So Bhagavan becomes the one who has raga dveshas like any ordinary person. If you praise him, call him Indra, Chandra, etc., you get something out of him. Then if you criticize him, he doesn't give you anything at all. Today he shows raga and tomorrow he shows dvesha. Flatter him and he gives you everything. If he is angry, he leaves you out completely. This is what we see in the world. We thought Bhagavan was different, one who would be equal to all people and give equally to everybody. But it looks as though he too behaves like an ordinary person. You go on doing everything for Bhagavan, then he is pleased and says, come back. But the others who did not care for him, he also does not care for. What is this? If you care for him, he cares for you. If you do not, he does not care for you. What kind of Bhagavan is he? He should care for me even if I do not care for him. I do not see him doing anything for me, nor is he immediately available for me. How can I care for him? I have 100 different cares in my life, but he is said to be all wisdom, all love, and all compassion. In his vision, in his compassion, I have done nothing to deserve being neglected by him. Suppose a child happens to kill a cockroach. You do not consider it as a sin. It was afraid and it therefore did something. Even if a person commits a small felony, you accommodate him. Our local laws seem to be very kind to the children because they do things in innocence. So, what about the Almighty Lord who is all wisdom, who is absolute love and compassion? In his vision, what kind of misdemeanor can I commit that I will not get his pardon? In fact, I must destroy the universe for him to get angry. Oh my God. In fact, I must destroy the universe for him to get angry. If I put Mars out of place, turn Jupiter inside out, just spirit the entire earth away. Oh my God. If I make a mess of his whole home, then he should get angry with me. But these small little things that the human being may do, he should pardon. I am not like Ravana who made Lord Varuna come and water his garden and wanted Vayu to come and sweep his floor, etc. He abused all the devatas and should be punished all right, but not me doing my small little thing. What kind of person is he? If only when you go on flattering him, he is very kind to you. And if you neglect to say you are Ananta, you are Krishna, you are Rama, you are this, you are that, etc., he thinks that I am no good, and then I couldn't stop laughing with this. Does not care for me. If in my innocence and childishness, I may not care for him, but in his wisdom and in his compassion, but in his wisdom and in his compassion, he should care for me. What kind of a God is he if he also has ragadveshas? It is very clear that such a God is insecure. He has his own fans called bhaktas, devotees, so he cares for them. And the others who mind their business. It sounds like politicians to me. And are now grown up, he dislikes. He he- oh my God, he should be proud of them. He should be proud of them, but he wants them always to look up to him, which means he does not want them to grow. He is not even like enlightened parents. Now we have reduced Ishvara to our level. It is the argument of an opponent, Pura Pakshi. Remember, the answer to this is given in the next verse. It's really funny to read this Pura Pakshi's argument. Can you believe it? How they bringing this argument in those days, argue with Shankara. I can imagine. So if you want to you want to go further, I think we did all these things yesterday.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
yeah,
It was,
actually,
but they are very important, so I just thought to repeat.
no problem. I remember this reading yesterday, and then it makes me laugh. So much reading, like, putting God like as if somebody who's like you and me, like, can you believe that? So Amaji has nicely putting it and bring some humor when we are reading this.
Yeah, very beautiful, but the way I will
Yeah.
just read the shloka, or you want to read the shloka,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Manan?
Go ahead.
Please go ahead. You can
Yeah.
try. I will just
Yeah.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priyah ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham.
Yeah. Sammoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktaya ma vete teshu chapyaham. Sarvabhuteshu, in all beings, aham samaha, I am the same. Name dveshyaha, yeah, dveshyaha asti. Name dveshyaha asti. There is no one whom I dislike. Na me priyaha, nor is anyone my favorite. Ye bhajanti tumam, but those who seek me, bhaktaya, with devotion, mayi they exist in me. Teshu cha apiyaham, and I exist in them. I am the same in all beings. There is no one I dislike, nor do I have a favorite. But those who seek me with devotion exist in me, and I in them. Okay, I read this again. I am the same in all beings. Again, this is very nice. Like, I am the same in all beings. There is no one I dislike, nor do I have a favorite. But those who seek me with devotion exist in me, and I in them. Samaha Samaha aham sarvabhuteshu. I am the same in all beings. Samaha aham sarvabhuteshu. I am the same in all beings. I am not someone separate from them. In all the beings, I am the same limitless Ishvara, because the Atma of everyone is myself alone. In all beings, I am available for owning. They need not even come to me. They are me. So, what would be my attitude towards them? Okay, let me read this one more time. Samaha aham sarvabhuteshu. I am the same in all beings. I am not someone separate from them. In all the beings, I am the same limitless Ishvara, because the Atma of everyone is myself alone. In all beings, I am available for owning. So not only he is like limitless Ishvara in everybody, and the Atma of everyone is myself. And I am available for owning. They need not even come to me, they are me. What would be my attitude towards them? Name dvashyaha asti. How can I have dveshya, one who is disliked, when everyone is me? I do not hate myself. I cannot hate myself because I know that I am complete, aham purnaha. To hate oneself, one must be ignorant of oneself. I have no such ignorance. I know that I am everything, and when that is so, everyone is myself. There is no separate person at all. Everyone is the same whole person, which is why he is called Purusha. When this is so, There is no person to be hated. You may not like someone, but suppose you have a liking for somebody else. That is good enough. It means you are indifferent to others, and it is also established a gradation. Taratmaya. Taratmaya. It is not enough to say, Name dveshaha asti. Name dveshaha asti. There is no one for whom I have dislike. So let me read this one more time, if you don't mind. Name dveshaha asti. How can I hate? I have a dveshya. One who is disliked when everyone is me. I do not hate myself. I cannot hate myself because I know that I am complete Aham Purnaga. To hate oneself, one must be ignorant of oneself. I have no such ignorance. I know that I am everything, and when that is so, everyone is myself. There is no separate person at all. Everyone is the same whole person, which is why he is called Purusha. When this is so, there is no person to be hated. So there is 3 points they made here. Name Veshyasti. Like you cannot hate yourself because you are the Aham Purnaha. I know I am complete Aham Purnaha. Only to hate oneself, they're supposed to be ignorant of themselves. So you don't have such ignorance. So that's why the complete there's no separate person and the same whole person called Purusha, and there is no person to be hated. You may not going to next paragraph, you may not dislike someone, but suppose you have liking for somebody else, that is good enough. It means you are indifferent to others, and it also establishes a gradation, taratmaya. It is not enough to say, Name dveshasti, there is no one for whom I have dislike. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Name priya asti. So, desha asti and then priya asti. I have no favorite, no beloved. Human beings are subject to all that, but not Ishvara. Then, why does he say those who worship him will come to him, etc.? If he is giving favors, you can say he gives certain people favors and not others. The problem here is Bhagavan says, I am themselves. They have to know me. I cannot be more than what I am for them, nor can I do more than what I have done already. They themselves are me. They are not separate from me. I am not giving favors to anybody, but those who know me get me. It is all according to the law. Even grace is karmapala. They have the free will to earn the grace or not to. Then finally speaking, Ye Mam Bhajanti Bhaktaya. Those who seek me, who praise me, who worship me with devotion. So seek me, praise me, worship me with devotion. All this can be taken as the meaning of the word bhajanti. Mai te teshu chapi aham. Chapi aham. They exist in me and I exist in them. This is that sloka number 29 in 6th chapter, I think, Sarvabhutesha, right? They exist in me because they seek me. So they exist in me and I exist in them. They exist in me because they seek me. Then they become one with me and therefore I exist in them. What about others? They are also non-separate from me, and they do not seek me with commitment, with the devotion, with commitment, with devotion, bhaktaya. If they do, then I am in them. They are in me. Here you must note that Bhagavan is not speaking with reference to Satya and Mithya, as he did earlier when he said, Mastani Sarva Bhutani Nachaham Teshu Avastitaha. Here he is saying that the seeker's Atma is me. Therefore, all seekers exist in me, and I in them. In that, both of us are one and the same. Pure Atma is pointed out. He is not talking about the relationship, but the identity between the Jiva and Parameshwara. Hmm. Therefore, I am them, they exist in me. All of them have their being in Atma. When each one says, I am so and so, that I is the Parameshwara. So you can say that. They all, they all exist in me, one Paramatma. And I am in the form of all of them. So when each one says, I am so and so, that I is Parameshwara. They all exist in me, one Paramatma, and I am in the form of all of them. Why should he say so? Hmm. It's very nice, right? Like they say, like then think about it. I is the Parameshwara. That means how many Parameshwara that exist? All one Parameshwara.
Is it okay to go ahead, Dr. Mara? Because the time is already up and we still got
Yeah,
one lap. Okay, you can finish if you
808.
wish. If everyone permits, it will be another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or you want to stop here?
It's up to all of the people. I don't know, Dr. Brahmara. Are you there? Uh, I think it should take only a few minutes more.
I
Let's
think we
finish.
can continue this and
Yeah,
we'll stop
yeah.
after you're done this.
Okay. There is no whole part relationship with the Ishvara. One may think they exist in me like the parts exist in the whole. This is what the school of thought called Vishishta Advaita says. But this cannot be. There are no fractions of Atma because Atma is always whole. It cannot be fractionated. It is not that from the same fire each one has a spark of divinity. It is not, again, it is not that from the same fire each one has a spark of divinity. There is no spark here. The spark is the whole. These theologies all exist because we have psychological issues. Everyone wants to belong to somebody because he feels empty inside. He wants to be claimed by somebody, and therefore he says he belongs to a big person, in this case, Vishnu. It is, it is purely psychological. There is nothing wrong with wanting to belong to somebody, but we are not talking about simple psychological issues here. It is more than that. You do not belong to Ishvara, you are Ishvara. If you think you belong to Ishvara, then you will also think Ishvara belongs to you. Then Ishvara, this is your point, Dr. Brahmara. You belong to Ishvara and I belong to Ishvara belongs to you. Then Ishvara will 1 million, will have 1 million people saying the same thing. They are all deluded. Deluded. When they discover there is another person to whom Ishvara has given the same feeling, the devotion will disappear. Ishvara becomes like the fellow who was searching for a greeting card. Okay, Ishvara becomes like a fellow who was searching for a greeting card and with the help of a shopkeeper finally found what he was looking for. It said, "You are the only one I." Oh my God. You are the only one I love. And then he asked the shopkeeper for a dozen of them. Similarly, Ishvara gives every devotee the feeling that he belongs to that devotee. It's so funny but the way they put it. He should, otherwise, no devotee will be a devotee. So he should, otherwise, no devotee will be a devotee. But among the devotees, each has always an eye upon the other devotee. Each thinks the Lord belongs to me. I am the only one dear to him. That is what he told me. When one says to the other, he told me this same thing. Oh my God. This all the devotion falls apart. This is what happens if you think you are a fraction of the Lord. I couldn't finish laughing with this one. This is Vishishta Advaita. If everyone belongs to Ishvara and everyone thinks that Ishvara oh my God, Ishvara belongs to him, definitely he will have the feeling I am not special to Ishvara. He has general devotees. I am the only one of them. And devotion will evaporate. There is no belonging. You are Ishvara. There is no question of separation because Ishvara cannot be made into parts. So that you have a spark of that Ishvara. Therefore, when one understands I am in all of them, they are in me, there is no separation. Bhagavan says, I have no dvesha for the people who do not care for me, nor do I have raga for the people who care for me. I am available for everyone because in all beings I am the same. Sammoham samat sarva bhuteshu. It is a question of owning up. The Atma of everyone is Parameshwara. I am not hiding myself from anybody, nor I am choosing to reveal myself to someone. I do not extend favors to some and punishment to others. It is all one's own doing. Having said this, he continues to talk about the nature of the commitment to the pursuit of Ishvara, called Bhakti. Shankara introduces the next verse saying, listen to the glory of that devotion. Very nice. Sorry guys, I couldn't stop laughing because of this way the whole conversation was so hilarious. How we fight about all these things. You belong to you, I belong to Vaishnava, Saiva, and all the different things. Oh my God.
Yeah. Dhanyavad, Dr. Mar. I will just quickly browse through the verses which we
Yeah,
did today.
yes. Go ahead. Sorry about
Yat
my
karosh. No, it was very nice of you. Dhanyavad, dear. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever ritual you perform, whatever you give, whatever religious discipline you follow, Arjuna, please do it as an offering to me. Please forgive me the breaking of voice. शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि. In this way, you will be released from the bondage of karma, which is in the form of desirable and undesirable results. Being one whose mind is endowed with renunciation and karma yoga, you have been released. Welcome to me. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. One whose mind is purified by being committed to a life of karma yoga, who has mastered the body and has the sense organs under control, and who knows oneself to be the self in all beings. Such a person is not affected even while doing actions. समोहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्. I am the same in all beings. There is no one I dislike, nor do I have a favorite. But those who seek me with devotion exist in me and I in them. With that beautiful Gopi Bhav, let us all close our eyes that Lord Krishna is with all of us. Hari Om. Let us share quickly because we are already, I'm really sorry. I repeated the yesterday's verses and it took a longer time. Kindly share your takeaways. For me, the takeaway is once the mind is prepared, once the antakarana is shuddha, then there is that recognition that you are that Ishvara, Satchit Ananda.
Ekute, yoga kshema and that that should be what's that? What is that?
Yes,
Shuddhi?
dear.
Antakarana Shuddhi.
Antakarana Shuddhi and Yoga Kshema cannot go together. Antakarana Shuddhi is for spiritual evolution and Yoga Kshema is for material aspect, that is used.
The true nature of a mumukshu is kind of laid out here. What should be the attitude of a mumukshu? Like you rightly pointed out, Maltiji, whenever we pray, yat karu, whatever we do, not just prayer. I think in the previous two verses, it was only talking about prayer. But here, why we need to pray, what is the need for prayer, why is the need for us to recognize Ishvara, why is that element of bhakti? Because unless that comes in, the ahankara will not get dissolved. So in order to do that, we pray. But then in this verse, yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhosi tadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushvama darpanam. So everything you do, you offer it to the Lord. For what? For purification of your mind. So that you just do what is to be done. And do it with that aspect of karma yoga, with an attitude of a karma yogi, so that your raga dveshas get dissolved. So when you do and you pray, you are not doing so for yoga kshema. That is such a important change of direction in the attitude, to which at least I can speak about myself. From when I pray earlier, yes, it was like that. Even now I cannot say I'm not completely out of the yoga kshema. There is, of course, that yoga and kshema at the back of the mind, but with awareness, slowly we have to kind of let that dilute, get that confidence and the faith that the yoga kshema is being taken care of by Ishvara. Whatever has to happen will happen. Whether it is good or bad, I will take it with the same. Good or bad, again, is only in our mind. No, we have raga for something that we think is good and dvesha for something that we think is bad. But they are part of life. So whatever comes my way, I'll take it as prasada. That with that attitude, if we live, then that antakarana shuddhi is happening little by little. And in that pure mind, then you can see recognize Ishvara. And that is what the whole purpose of life is. Yeah.
And then in the next sloka, the one thing they didn't want you to mistake is the karma yoga is the means of liberation. It's not. So, but you do karma yoga in that to for the antakarna shuddhi, and um, then the karma palatyaga, that also then becomes then the then you acquire that knowledge through that antakarna shuddhi. So then that's what is explained here in this particular sloka, especially the reference from the chapter 5 sloka also added here, because they mentioned that yeah, they mentioned that it's only for the um, to elaborate on it, what exactly that karma yoga is for. But then again, you don't want to mistake it. The last sloka is really that was all the question that will arise in our head, right? Like we think the Ishvara is split into so many, for that kind of thing, that
The
they ask
Vishishta.
yeah, which is like the, so yeah, even though it was funny, like you said, all these questions will arise in our head. When I was reading it, like you see that things happen in your real world, like in reality, we see a lot of things that happen, because especially now that I'm volunteering at one of the temples, it's called Siva Vishnu temple. I can see the how people fight between the Shiva side and then Vishnu side and all these things. And just when we're reading, even just, I mean, I'm not even aware the fully read and fully understood everything. Even Bhagavad Gita, we haven't finished it. But even this knowledge that we have one Paramatma, why we are fighting and all this thing, it sounds so ridiculous, right? um, so in that mind, like it just, especially the way Swamiji describes it, everything, or the Bhashyam is really fun to read. But anyway, but the thing is, like, as that was also the thing, right? When we say, oh, he says he's the Atma inside in me and everybody, the same Atma in every being. That means, is he split into small part? That was explained there clearly. It's, yeah, it's not one spark from the fire in every one of them. It's just one spark is the complete one. It is the same in everyone. So it's every one of us having that Atma is complete Purnaha. It's complete. So that was nicely described. And then we, the same Atma is the Ishvara. So you are nothing but Ishvara and Paramatma. So you are Parameshvara. So that's, when I say I, that is Parameshvara. So it's so amazing, like coming to that knowledge point, where you go here, there, everywhere, and then come back to you, and then you are that, it just that, that there's nothing more to say to it, it just completely, you're that. So
So wonderful. Yeah,
thank you.
that Purna Shloka again, the Purna mantra.
Uh-huh.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. This actually encompasses the whole idea of
Yeah.
Advaita.
Mm-hmm.
So from the whole, if you remove what what you get is a whole. And from the
Mm-hmm.
whole, even if you split it up, what you get is a whole. So
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, what remains is the whole.
Yeah, can you say that again, sing it again? Purnamidam Purnam.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Very nice. Thank you.
So, so from Purna, you remove Purna. What remains is Purna. It doesn't become nothing. That is what the Nastikas thought. The Buddhists thought that there is nothing. But Shankara is the one who says, who is that one who says there is nothing? I am that one.
Mm,
That one who says I am nothing, that there is nothing.
yeah,
So it's beautiful. It is nice
it
to
is.
have contrast
Mhm.
between the Purva Pakshis, the Vishishta Advaita, and the Dvaitas, the Karmatas, because that is why in the beginning it was read that we should not confuse that Karma Yoga is the means for knowledge,
Right.
is for moksha,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
then otherwise it will turn you completely into the karma, the karma, the Purva Pakshi thing, where you say only through karma you will gain moksha. I think in
Yeah.
the 18th chapter, if you
Okay.
all remember, when we read it along with Nana, there's a
Yeah.
huge, beautiful counter arguments about Purva Pakshi, about how
In
karma
the
is not the means for
chapter
moksha.
18, right? Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 18.
Yeah. Yeah. The number 18 was
Then,
really, yeah, the lot
yeah,
of arguments. Yeah.
Shankara himself puts forth the argument in the form of Purva Pakshi, and he himself
Mm.
gives the answer. This is how karma is not the means for no, for moksha. It is only through jnana.
Yeah. Mm.
Karma
No,
yoga
it is.
is, yeah, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
No, it is so nice to read it, and then like how they were arguing in at the level of the human nature, right? That they're not really putting Ishvara like as above. I mean, like he say he's a whole wisdom. He has compassion. He's all love, all compassion, all wisdom. I mean, if you have that, how that person is going to look at you like you are favorite, you are not favorite, and I'm going to hate you, I'm going to love you like that. Just who is praising him? That's what made me laugh. Like, just because we are praising him, we are flattering
Mm.
him, all that stuff. Um, we are doing it out of our own. thing, bhakti, to get to know. I mean, can you believe it? Like, we even after reading all these things, also we are not able to get there. That means we how strong this ignorant veil is sitting there and
Course,
not for us to not able to get there. It's just amazing.
which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Just that recognition that, oh, there is so much that
Yeah,
effort. See, that effort that is required, knowledge, for knowledge to happen, there is no effort
yeah,
required. Knowledge just happens. But
yeah,
all the effort that we need to put is in removing the obstructions. This,
exactly.
all
Yeah,
these obstructions are not wrong identity. We're identifying ourselves with the anatma, with the
right.
body, mind, ego, complex. And we are
Mm,
identifying ourselves. We think we are the ones responsible for our yoga and kshema. So every time we pray, we think, oh, I have to pray for my yoga and kshema.
mhm.
Not in your hand anyway. You
Yeah.
don't know what will happen the next moment.
Mm,
So whatever has to happen, you have already put your blueprint. And according to your karma, your prarabdha karma, what has to happen will happen.
mm,
So that is in Ishvara's hands. He is the karma phala data. So forget about yoga and kshema. But letting go of that seems to be that is where the effort has to be put.
mm,
Being aware of that and then directing all our effort to purify the mind, to let go of the raga and dvesha. These are the two demons, if we can call them, that we
yeah.
have to eliminate.
Can you believe it? How hard will be the function of this Parameshwara to make things happen, to this to happen, that to happen, like millions of people asking for this, that, this. Oh my God, you can never. That's why my husband says, you keep praying all the time, give some time for God. Like,
No, on
Gita.
the contrary, no,
Yeah,
Dr. Mara, on the contrary, he is
yeah,
just having fun. God is just having fun. He does not
right.
need to do anything. It is, see, in this cycle of karma, each one of us is is sowing
No,
the seeds of our karma, right? I know on the
right,
lighter vein, I understand what your husband was saying, leave him alone.
right.
But
Yeah,
he is like Christian, he is there. He is just enjoying this whole show.
right. That like was we having fun with this kind of thing, I'm sure he'll be having fun.
Of course.
That's why he created this whole universe for him.
Mm.
It's fun. Anyway,
Yeah. I think today what we'll do, we had a nice discussion. We'll
yeah,
wind up here and we'll do chapter 6. We'll keep it for tomorrow. Otherwise, if we start now, it is already beyond time. It might
right.
go way beyond. So
Mm.
we'll stop here and maybe the last two verses we can repeat tomorrow or maybe the last verse. So that's
Okay,
what,
that's a 29.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Sarlaji, God loves fun.
Mm.
And we should get into that mode. Someone said we take
Mm.
life so seriously. There's
Yeah.
absolutely no need for us to take life seriously. We need to take life as a game and play it well.
Yeah,
Mm.
we should. It would be a lot easier to handle it. Mhm.
Otherwise, we get so serious with every event that happens, how
Mm.
we deal with people, everything. We get so stuck in our mind.
Right. Mhm.
Just let go and take it as fun.
I
Yeah.
hope by the time we finish Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we'll get all lighter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what we should pray for. That is our little helplessness.
Right.
So please,
That difficult thing is to getting this antakarna shuddhi, that
mm,
getting your senses control and mind control. That is what we have to focus on.
correct.
Yeah, like Arjuna. Mhm.
We'll get there,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Mhm.
That is what Bhagwan gives us so much of assurance. He
Yeah.
says, "You focus on me, Madarpanam. You give everything to me.
and you will come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nice thing about you put Guruji put the post you had. Nice.
It was so apt. It was like it just came
Yeah.
at that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's very nice.
Fine. So we'll close here today.
Mhm.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.